welcome everyone to the live session of listening class. I'm Dilpreet Kaur from IELTS Made Easy. I hope all of you are doing great and practicing a lot for your IELTS exam. If not, let's practice together. So before starting with the session, let me introduce you with schedule. We have classes at two different times, one at 12 noon and one at 7 p.m. in the evening. At 12 noon, we have reading and listening session, and at 7 p.m. we have writing and speaking. Reading we usually cover on Monday, Tuesday and Friday, whereas listening on Wednesday and Thursday. On the other hand, we have class at 7 p.m. that is on writing and speaking. The writing we cover on Thursday, Friday, and speaking on Monday, Tuesday and Wednesday. In these free live classes, we provide detailed explanation to each module, vocabulary improvement and doubt clarification. So if you have any doubt related to listening, you can write in the chat box. I hope I'll be able to solve all your doubts until the end of today's session. So welcome everybody once again to the free live class of listening. We have classes at two different times, one at 12 noon and one at 7 p.m. in the evening from Monday until Friday. Hi Muhammad Ramzan, hello Avinash, Sanjeev, GS Collection. Welcome everybody once again. Okay, let's wait for a few more students to join the session. Hi Mandeep, I hope you guys are doing well. Hi Palak, hi Jeenu, welcome to the live class. Hello Simran, hi Amanpreet, Preetyusha, hi Harman Kaur, hi Anjali. Jeenu Chabra, yesterday only we covered multiple choice questions, right? Hi David, hello Sukhman. Yes, she is feeling well now. She is improving a lot. Thank you so much for asking, Sukhman Malli. Hi Nitesh, hello Suraj, Wasim, Iqbal. Welcome everybody once again to the free live class of listening. So today we are going to cover part 4 of the listening, which comprises of complete the notes one word only. Hi Navdeep Sarao, welcome to the live class of listening. Hello Nisha. So those students who are new to this channel, I recommend them to download Telegram application from the Play Store if they're using Android, and if they're using iPhone, you can download it from your App Store. After downloading this application, you need to search for this name, which is IELTS capital underscore M capital AD small underscore E capital ASY small, and simply join the channel for free study material related to reading, listening, writing and speaking. We share on daily basis whatever we are teaching on our live classes, that is being shared on this channel. So do join this Telegram channel for free study material. Do subscribe the YouTube channel and hit the bell icon so that you can get the notifications. Other than these are not recorded sessions, these are live streaming sessions. If you want to view these again, you can hit the like button which is below the video. It will simply add it to your like videos and you can view it later on whenever you want. Alright, so you simply need to like the video, it will be added to your liked videos. Hello Suraj, hi Nitesh, Wasim, Navdeep, Nisha, Veerpal, Jaspreet, Srinu, Khushbu, Rockstar. Then we have David. That's great, welcome. Hi Wild. No, we don't have offline classes, we have only online classes. Oh, that's so sad, Samanpreet. So this is what is happening, guys. That's why I always say don't waste your time. इसीलिए कहा जाता है कि don't waste your time. Join our personal classes, right? So we have our well-curated sessions, well-trained and certified trainers. Those will help you to achieve your desired band scores in just single attempt. So that's the reason that I always stress on these things. So don't waste your time, guys. Join our personal classes. Try to understand the things personally. Simply you need to WhatsApp on the number which is visible on the screen. Okay, she is good now, NK. Thank you for asking. We are located at Mohali, Wild Hunt, but we provide only online classes. You need to simply contact on the number which is visible on the screen. Okay. Hi Anil, very good afternoon. I hope you're doing great. Hi Dynamic. Okay, so on this note, let's get started with today's session. This is the listening score table, which is same for general and academic, right? So listening part 4, we have complete the notes, and these are one word only. And one thing more, the speed of this will be higher because this is the last part of the listening. ये last part होता है listening का, इसीलिए इसकी जो speed होती है comparatively it is much faster than part 3, part 2 or as compared to the part 1, right? So speed थोड़ी सी fast होगी, you have to listen carefully, right? And so we have this part 4 from 31 to 40. And one thing more, these questions, they'll give you entire time to read the question 31 to 40, but we'll be reading all this partly, right? So it's complete the notes. It's very important to read the instructions carefully. Now here the instructions are saying write only one word, so you're supposed to write only one word. You cannot write more than that. Okay, so this is about extinction of the dodo bird. So it's the name of a bird which is being extincted, matlab alop ho jana, right? So let's see what are the questions. Highlight the keywords and we'll start with the listening part. The dodo was a large flightless birds. Flightless means जो उड़ नहीं सकते, which used to inhabit the island of Mauritius. History के बारे में बात कर रहे हैं. So जब वो बोलेंगे 1507 Portuguese ships transporting dash stopped at the island to collect food and water. So जो Portuguese ships हैं वो क्या चीज़ transport कर रहे थे, क्या चीज़ उन्होंने transport करना है. Transporting dash जो रुक गए थे, which stopped at island to collect food and water, right? 1638 the Dutch established the Dutch. वहाँ पे Dutch ने क्या establish करा, what they established on the island. You need to listen carefully for this. They killed the dodo birds for the meat. Okay, the last one was killed in 1681. While there is a difference between general and academic IELTS, although the listening is same, listening and speaking is same, but the difference is in reading and writing. Right? Writing task 1 is letter writing in case of general training. Otherwise, in case of academic, it is report writing. Second task 2 is same essay writing only. In case of reading, we have 3 passages in academic, but 5 passages in general training, but 3 sections. Comparatively, academic reading is difficult as compared to the general training, right? I hope it is clear. So other than this, general training is being for those students who want to apply for work visas, for PR applications, and for academic for study basis. I hope it is much more clear now. So let's get started. I'm going to play the audio for the sound check. If it is audible, do let me know, right? If it is audible, write yes in the chat box.
Part 4. You will hear part of an environmental science lecture about a large bird called the dodo, which is now extinct. First, you have some time to look at questions 31 to 40.
Okay, so as they are saying that you need to look at the questions 31 to 40, but hum thoda sa will have pause, we'll take some pause and then move forward, right? But in reality, you have to solve all the questions in one go. Just Karan Sandhu, we are at Mohali, but we do not provide offline classes. We have only and only online classes. You can contact on the number. You need not to go anywhere. Believe me, it will help you a lot. So contact on the number which is visible on the screen. Okay, that's great. So now listen carefully and write your answers in the chat box for 31 and 32.
Now listen carefully and answer questions 31 to 40.
One of the most famous cases of extinction is that of a bird known as the dodo. In fact, there's even a saying in English, as dead as the dodo, used to refer to something which no longer exists. But for many centuries, the dodo was alive and well, although it could only be found in one place, the island of Mauritius in the Indian Ocean. It was a very large bird, about 1 meter tall, and over the centuries it had lost the ability to fly, but it survived happily under the trees that covered the island. Then, in the year 1507, the first Portuguese ships stopped at the island. The sailors were carrying spices back to Europe and found the island a convenient stopping place where they could stock up with food and water for the rest of the voyage, but they didn't settle on Mauritius. However, in 1638, the Dutch arrived and set up a colony there. These first human inhabitants of the island found the dodo birds a convenient source of meat, although not everyone liked the taste. It's hard to get an accurate description of what the dodo actually looked like.
Okay, so the first answer is spices, or either you write spice, both the answers will be correct with plural or singular. And for the second one, they set up a colony right on the island. So these are the right answers. In 1507, Portuguese ships transporting sailors were carrying spices. So sailors were carrying means were transport कर रहे थे spices and stopped at island to collect food, and they didn't settle over there. वहाँ पे वो settle नहीं हुए थे. But in 1638, Dutch they set up a colony on the island. Right? I hope it is clear to everyone. If there is any doubt, you can write in the chat box. Thank you. And okay. Hi Anmol. Hello Rupinder Taliwal. Thank you so much for asking. She is improving a lot. Thank you �𝐇𝐀𝐏𝐏 Chauhan for your appreciation. Okay, so as I can see that most of the students have written right answers, so we should move to the next questions. It's clear, that's great. Let's move to the next questions then.
Part 4.
So we have these 33 until 38. So let's just highlight the keywords. It's about the description of the bird. The only record we have is written descriptions and pictures, possibly unreliable. A Dutch painting suggests the dodo was very. So एक Dutch painting थी जो suggest करती कि dodo क्या था, was very dash. The only remaining soft tissue is a dried dash. So whatever remaining soft tissue is वो सूखा हुआ. Dried means which is सूखा हुआ. What? You have to listen for the answer. Recent studies of a dodo skeleton suggest the birds were capable of rapid dash. Recent studies ने बताया कि जो उसका skeleton था, birds suggest the birds were capable of rapid. Rapid means fast. It's thought they were able to use their small wings to maintain dash. It's thought they were able to use their small wings. अपने वो छोटे wings use करते थे to maintain dash. maintain करना. The dash was of average size. क्या चीज उनकी average size की थी? Their sense of dash. Okay, what sense of dash enabled them to find food? जिसकी वजह से क्या चीज से किस sense की बात करें जिसकी वजह से they are able to find the food. So I have highlighted the keywords. Listen carefully and write your answers in the chat box. Spelling mistakes are very important, Anjali Jaiswal. In computer based, you have to type immediately at that point only, and you will not, I think you will get only 2 minutes at the end to transfer your answers or just to check your answers. But in case of paper based, you have 10 minutes to transfer your answers from the question booklet to your answer sheet, right? So I'm going to play the audio now. Listen carefully from 33 until 38 and write your answers in the chat box.
actually looked like. We do have some written records from sailors and a few pictures, but we don't know how reliable these are. The best known picture is a Dutch painting in which the bird appears to be extremely fat, but this may not be accurate. An Indian painting done at the same time shows a much thinner bird. Although attempts were made to preserve the bodies of some of the birds, no complete specimen survives. In the early 17th century, 4 dried parts of a bird were known to exist. Of these, 3 have disappeared, so only one example of soft tissue from the dodo survives, a dodo head. Bones have also been found, but there's only one complete skeleton in existence. This single dodo skeleton has recently been the subject of scientific research, which suggests that many of the earlier beliefs about dodos may have been incorrect. For example, early accounts of the birds mention how slow and clumsy it was. But scientists now believe the bird's strong knee joints would have made it capable of movement which was not slow, but actually quite fast. In fact, one 17th century sailor wrote that he found the birds hard to catch. It's true that the dodo's small wings wouldn't have allowed it to leave the ground, but the scientists suggest that these were probably employed for balance while going over uneven ground. Another group of scientists carried out analysis of the dodo's skull. They found that the reports of the lack of intelligence of the dodo were not borne out by their research, which suggested the bird's brain was not small, but average in size. In fact, in relation to its body size, it was similar to that of the pigeon, which is known to be a highly intelligent bird. The researchers also found that the structure of the bird's skull suggested that one sense which was particularly well developed was that of smell. So the dodo may also have been particularly good at locating ripe fruit and other food in the island's thick vegetation. So it looked...
Okay. So I'm going to write down the answers. A Dutch painting suggests the dodo was was very fat. So fat is the right answer for this. Right? And the only remaining soft tissue is a dried head. Recent studies of dodo skeletons suggest the birds were capable of rapid movement. It's thought they were able to use their small wings to maintain the balance banane ke liye. Right? Very important to write the correct spellings. Their dash was of average size. Their brain was of average size. Right? Then last, their sense of dash, their sense of smell enable them to find food. So these are the answers. If there is any doubt, you can write in the chat box. It's not skull, it is brain. Yes, if you have any doubt, you can write in the chat box. If you want me to play the audio again, otherwise we'll move to the next questions. Yes. It's not thinner. No, it's not movement. It is only movement. If you're writing movements, that's a wrong answer. You'll not get band scores for that. मीनू 36, it is thought they were able to small wings, उनके पास छोटे छोटे wings हैं ताकि वो अपने balance को maintain कर सकें. Okay, I need to repeat 33. That was the initial only. Listen carefully for 33.
We do have some written records from sailors and a few pictures, but we don't know how reliable these are. The best known picture is a Dutch painting in which the bird appears to be extremely fat.
I hope it is clear to you. Dutch painting की बात करें जिसमें जो bird appears to be extremely fat. I hope it is clear. Right? Kevalji, these are from Cambridge books. I hope it is clear to Duri student. Right? Well, according to my opinion, Anjali, if you ask me, I believe that computer based is much, if you are habitual of using computer, if your speed is very good, then you can go for it. But I believe paper based is much more convenient than CBT. 34, okay.
But this may not be accurate. An Indian painting done at the same time shows a much thinner bird.
इंडियन पेंटिंग बोल रहा है थिनर बर्ड है, डच पेंटिंग बोल रहा है फैट है. हमें डच के लिए सुनना है, नॉट फॉर इंडियन. ओके.
Although attempts were made to preserve the bodies of some of the birds, no complete specimen survives. In the early 17th century, 4 dried parts of a bird were known to exist.
4 dried parts of the birds were known to exist. देखो किस चीज का dried part वो बोल रही है.
Of these, 3 have disappeared. So only one example of soft tissue from the dodo survives. A dodo head.
A dodo head which was survived. A dried dodo head. I hope it is clear to you. Just Karan as well. Another student who was, yes, Kiranpreet, I hope it is clear to you. अंजलि, आपको साथ के साथ आंसर्स लिखने होंगे, ठीक है जी, अदरवाइज क्योंकि आपके पास टाइम नहीं मिलेगा वहाँ पे कंप्यूटर बेस में. सो ऑब्वियसली यू हैव टू टाइप इमीडिएटली. दिस इज व्हाट यू कैन डू. यू हैव टू टाइप विद दैट ओनली. आई होप इट इज क्लियर टू यू. वो आपने अपने हाथों के साथ टाइप करना है यूजिंग योर कीपैड, राइट, कीबोर्ड. यू हैव टू टाइप योर आंसर्स immediately while you are listening to the audio. So that's why I'm saying it is much paper based is much more convenient than computer based. Yes. Any other doubt you guys have, you can write in the chat box. Otherwise, we'll move to the next question. Wild hunt अगर fact है was very fact अगर मैं लिखूं तो ये sensible answer तो किसी angle से भी नहीं है. If I write fact over here, तो fact doesn't make sense at all. So yes, they clearly spoke fat only. So if you're facing difficulty in listening English, I believe you should watch web series so that your ears can develop listening to English, right? And no, if you type S in bracket, that's not valid. Either it will be S or you can simply write without S. Let's move to the next 2 questions. 39 and 40, reasons for extinction. Okay, so let's see what are the reasons for extinction. Hunting was probably not the main cause. I have explained it 2-3 times that paper based is much more convenient than computer based. Rest is yours choice, right? Hunting was probably not the main cause. So hunting main cause nahi tha. Then what was the main cause? Sailors brought dogs and monkeys. Do they brought dogs and monkeys जिसकी वजह से वो extinct हो गए? Or what is the other reason? 39th. Dash also escaped onto the island and ate the birds' eggs. कौन थे जो escape हो गए थे और जो वो birds के eggs को खा जाते थे, dodo birds के. That's why these birds extincted. The arrival of farming meant the dash was destroyed. So farming की वजह से क्या चीज़ destroy हो गई थी? So listen carefully and write your answer for 39 and 40 in the chat box.
Less than 200 years after Europeans first arrived on the island, they had become extinct. So what was the reason for this? For a long time it was believed that the dodos were hunted to extinction. But scientists now believe the situation was more complicated than this. Another factor may have been the new species brought to the island by the sailors. These included dogs, which would have been a threat to the dodos, and also monkeys, which ate the fruit that was the main part of the dodos' diet. These were brought to the island deliberately. But the ships also brought another type of creature, rats, which came to land from the ships and rapidly overran the island. These upset the ecology of the island, not just the dodos, but other species too. However, they were a particular danger to the dodos because they consumed their eggs. And since each dodo only laid one at a time, this probably had a devastating effect on populations. However, we now think that probably the main cause of the bird's extinction was not the introduction of non-native species, but the introduction of agriculture. This meant that the forest that had once covered all the island and that had provided a perfect home for the dodo was cut down so that crops such as sugar could be grown. So, although the dodo had survived for thousands of years, suddenly it was gone.
Alright, so rats also escaped onto islands and consumed means ate the bird's eggs. Arrival, main cause इसका arrival था agriculture का आना, जिसकी वजह से they cut down the forest to grow sugar cane. Right, to grow sugar cane they cut down the forest and the forest was destroyed, which was the habitat for dodo birds. So the right answer is forests for this, forest. Right? I hope it is clear to everyone. If there is any doubt, do write in the chat box. Otherwise, we'll move to the next ones. No, agriculture का मतलब farming ही होता है ना. Farming means agriculture. Agriculture was not destroyed. The arrival of farming meant the agriculture was destroyed. No, that doesn't make sense, Anjali. The arrival of farming means agriculture only, meant the forest was destroyed. Okay, you can listen it carefully if you want.
But other species too. However, they were a particular danger to the dodos because they consumed their eggs. And since each dodo only laid one at a time, this probably had a...
Okay, I need to repeat the audio again, no problem.
After Europeans first arrived on the island, they had become extinct. So what was the end by the sailors? These included dogs, which would have been a threat to the dodos, and also monkeys, which ate the fruit that was the main part of the dodo's diet. These were brought to the island deliberately. But the ships also brought another type of creature, rats, which came to land from the ships and rapidly overran the island. These upset the ecology of the island, not just the dodos, but other species too. However, they were a particular danger to the dodos because they consumed their eggs. And since each dodo only laid one at a time, this probably had a devastating effect on populations. However, we now think that probably the main cause of the bird's extinction was not the introduction of non-native species, but the introduction of agriculture. This meant that the forest that had once covered all the island...
It was very clear, forest. And यहाँ पे forest was लिखा है singular, not plural. अगर यहाँ पे were लिखा होता, were destroyed, forests आएगा फिर. बट यहाँ पे उन्होंने सिंगुलर वर्ड यूज करा, सिंगुलर was. So the answer will be destroy only. Just Karan Sandhu, according to the grammar, forest is the right answer. I hope it is clear to you, and she said it clearly, forest, right? I hope it is clear. So let's move to the next questions.
Less than.
Okay, so next we have the same type of questions, section number 4, that's basically part 4 only. And again, complete the notes, one word only, 31 to 40. It is about the spirit bear, right? It's about the spirit bear. So I'm not going to highlight anything. I'll be playing the audio. Just write down the answers for 31 to 35, and then I'll move to the next questions, right? So this is a practice test now. For you, this is practice. So I'm going to play the audio. Listen carefully and write your answers from 31 to 35.
40. 31 to 40.
Yes, guys, listen carefully and write your answers from 31 to 35.
Today, we continue our series on ecology and conservation with a look at a particularly endangered member of the black bear family. 1 in 10 black bears is actually born with a white coat, which is the result of a special gene that surfaces in a few. Local people have named it the spirit bear, and according to the legends of these communities, its snowy fur brings with it a special power. Because of this, it has always been highly regarded by them, so much that they do not speak of seeing it to anyone else. It is their way of protecting it when strangers visit the area. The white bear's habitat is quite interesting. The bear's strong relationship with the old-growth rainforest is a complex one. The white bear relies on the huge, centuries-old trees in the forest in many ways. For example, the old-growth trees have extremely long roots that help prevent erosion of the soil along the banks of the many fish streams. Keeping these banks intact is important because these streams are home to salmon, which are the bear's main food source. In return, the bear's feeding habits nurture the forest. As the bears eat the salmon, they discard the skin and bones in great amounts on the forest floor, which provide vital nutrients. These produce lush vegetation that sustains thousands of other types of life forms, from birds to insects and more. Today, the spirit bear lives off the coast of the province of British Columbia on a few islands. There is great concern for their survival, since it is estimated that less than 200 of these white bears remain. The best way to protect them is to make every effort to preserve the delicate balance of their forest environment.
Okay, so I'm going to write down the answers. Kalyani, erosion के spelling गलत है. Spelling are very important. If you write wrong spelling, it's wrong. Its color comes from an uncommon gene, and local people believe that it has unusual, means special power. Right? Then they protect the bear from strangers. If you write powers, that is also correct answer. Habitat, the trees' roots stop or prevent erosion. These are the correct spellings of erosion. The bear's feeding habitat provide nutrients for forest vegetation. It is currently found on a small number of, means few, islands. So these are the spellings and answers. If you have any doubt, you can actually rewind and watch it again. So I'm going to play the next part of the audio, and listen carefully and write your answers from 36 to 40.
Section 4. Feeding habits. White bear relies on the huge centuries-old trees in the forest in many ways, streams. Keeping these banks intact is important because these streams are home to salmon, which are the bear's main food source. In return, the bear's feeding habits nurture the forest. As the bears eat the salmon, they discard the skin and bones in great amounts on the forest floor, which provide vital nutrients. These produce lush vegetation. Today, the spirit bear lives off the coast of the province.
Okay, now listen carefully and write your answers from 36 to 40. Yes, if you have written only island 𝐸𝐾𝐏𝐏, that will be wrong answer. You have to write islands.
Of British Columbia on a few islands. There is great concern for their survival, since it is estimated that less than 200 of these white bears remain. The best way to protect them is to make every effort to preserve the delicate balance of their forest environment. In other words, their ecosystem. The greatest threat to the bear's existence is the loss of its habitat. Over many years, logging companies have stripped the land by cutting down a large number of trees. In addition, they have built roads which have fractured the areas where the bear usually feeds, and many hibernation sites have also been lost. The logging of the trees along the streams has damaged the places where the bears fish. To make matters worse, the number of salmon in those streams is declining because there is no legal limit on fishing at the moment. All these influences have a negative impact on the spirit bear's very existence, which is made all the more fragile by the fact that reproduction among these bears has always been disappointingly low. And so, what's the situation going forward? Community organizations, environmental groups, and the British Columbia government are now working together on the problem. The government is now requiring logging companies to adopt a better logging method, which is a positive step. However, these measures alone may not be sufficient to ensure a healthy population of the spirit bear in the future. Other steps also need to be taken. While it is important to maintain the spirit bear's habitat, there also needs to be more emphasis on its expansion. The move is justified as it will also create space for other bears that are losing their homes to
Okay, I'm going to write down the answer.
That is the end of section 4. You now have half a minute to check.
Okay, so due to deforestation, trees is the not right answer, Simranpreet. Due to cutting down of trees to deforestation, already written. So build of roads, roads बनाई. So roads is the right answer for this, right? Let me just change the color of the pen. Then unrestricted fishing is affected the salmon supply. Fishing is the right answer. Fishing. Spellings are very important. If you're writing wrong spellings, obviously you'll not get the band scores. Low rate of reproduction. And logging companies must improve better. Improve means better. Logging method. So method आएगा इसमें answer. Method of logging is the right answer. Method, or you can write methods also. Both the answers will be correct. अगर आपने method लिखा है और methods लिखा है, both answers will be right. Then last one, maintenance and more emphasis on its expansion. So right answer is expansion of the spirit territory is needed. So these are the answers. I hope it is clear to everyone. If you want to clear more, you can actually rewind the video and watch it again. Let me see how many of you have scored 10 on 10 from this. N.K. Pandey, these things are not in my hand. I hope it is much clear to you. Right? I am not the owner, so these things are not in my hand. So stop writing such things. Yes, guys. If you have any doubt, you can actually rewind the video and let me see how much you scored 10 on 10. Best and best, the spelling of expansion are wrong. If you're writing even E, that is wrong. Okay, you will not get any band scores. Okay, we have 7, 8, 9, 9. What about 10? We have 8, 9 again. 8, 9, okay. That's still great, but try to concentrate because these are easier. So try to concentrate well and score 10 on 10 from this.
Section 4.
Alright, for the audio, you need to simply type dodo bird listening, and for the next part was the spirit bear. You can write the spirit bear listening on Google or YouTube. You can download, you can get the audio from there by typing these words, right? Okay, that's great, very good. I believe that who scored 9, very good, but still try to get or to score 10 on 10 because these are comparatively easier than the multiple choice questions, right? Spellings are very important. And to get free study material, you can join us on the Telegram. It is IELTS capital _ M capital AD small _ E capital ASY small. I'll be sharing this PDF file and you can download it and do it as a homework again. So thank you so much for joining today's session. I'll see you tomorrow at the same time, that is 12 noon, with reading list of headings, right? So those students who are facing a lot of difficulties in understanding the things, I should recommend them, do not waste your time, join our personal paid online classes because we have individual focus, writing, speaking evaluations. You will get the band scores, you can work on your mistakes and you can achieve your desired results in just single attempt, right? So WhatsApp on the number which is visible on the screen for online classes. So I'll see you tomorrow at the same time. Bye bye, take care, God bless you all, and thank you once again for joining today's session.